everyone and welcome back to the channel. In today's tutorial, I'm going to be going through a couple of different ways that you can help reduce blurriness or enhance your imagery a little bit more to regain some of that texture and detail if your images are blurry. And this is going to be a tutorial that we go through in both Lightroom and Capture One, just to show you a comparison of some of the tools in each of them and how they do compare at the end, which maybe looks better or which one you prefer. So there's really nothing more annoying than finding a really great photo that you've taken, but it's ever so slightly out of focus. And I feel this has happened to me many times on so many different occasions. And it's nice to know that there are a few techniques or tools that you can use in different programs to help kind of regain that detail a bit more back. It's never going to be perfect usually with slightly out of focus images, but the programs these days have gotten pretty good. So I want to go through a few particular sliders in both Capture One and Lightroom and really show you guys which ones that I prefer to use and how I prefer to regain that detail if I need to. But without further rambling, let's get straight into the tutorial. Okay, so now that we're in Lightroom, I'm going to go through a couple of different tools in this program that I feel are really beneficial for bringing back texture and detail in images, particularly if you do have a blurry image like we have here. So if I zoom in, you'll see that this image unfortunately is not very sharp. There is a certain level of blurriness with this one, and unfortunately it is just slightly out of focus in the eyes. So we really want to help improve where there is that bit of motion blur there as well, and we want to really sharpen up the areas, give it a little bit more contrast overall in the parts where it is a little bit more blurrier, just so it really gives that appearance of being a bit more sharper. So usually I find that most people in Lightroom will go straight to the sharpening tools, and they're just located towards the bottom here of this particular toolbar in the Develop tab. So just making sure as well at the start of this tutorial that we are all on the Develop tab, and this is where we'll be working mainly. So yeah, most people I find tend to go straight to the Detail tab, which is where the sharpening options are. And yes, we will be utilizing some of these in this particular tutorial. However, there's a few different things that I really want to go over first, and a couple of other sliders that I feel are even more important than actually utilizing the sharpening sliders. So we're gonna actually go back to the top. And if we just scroll down to where it says Presence, you'll see that there's a set of sliders here called Texture, Clarity, and Dehaze. Now I'm going to be doing this tutorial where we focus on Lightroom first, and then I'm going to show you how you can do this in a similar way in Capture One. Some of the sliders will be different, and we can do a little comparison so you can see which one you may prefer, which result you may prefer overall, and which one you might actually think is better. So looking at these first though, texture and clarity are the ones that I really want you to focus on. They're going to be really imperative to help create that little bit more sharpness and clarity overall in the image, because that's what we're really lacking at the moment. It is slightly out of focus on the face, just over the eyes, and some of the skin tone as well, unfortunately. So we really want to enhance that. So I'm going to zoom in again though, just a little bit. And you can see that it's a little bit sharper on this side than it is this side. So we can use a bit of masking if we need to with these tools in Lightroom or Capture One. So just to remember that if you do have parts of an image that are out of focus and you don't want these to be applied to the whole image. But for the purpose of this tutorial, we are going to apply these sliders to the whole image. So before anything, I really like to use the clarity slider first. So I usually bring that up, and you can really see what a difference that makes in enhancing some of those edges where it wasn't very sharp before. It just kind of adds a little bit more contrast in certain sections, which is exactly what we need in this circumstance. So I'm going to move it up a fair way. If I just hold this down, you can see just before I've done a bit of color correction there, that you can see that it is still quite blurry and not very enhanced around the eye area. So if we continue with these sliders now and we start to move the texture slider up, you'll see that it really starts to almost sharpen certain parts and really give a little bit more texture overall to the image, like the slider name suggests. So we don't want to go too far with this slider. If we push it too far, you're going to have this really textured effect that we also don't want. But I am going to move it up pretty much maybe in line with the clarity for now. And I'm going to do a quick before and after just by holding down the backspace button on the keyboard. And you can see there that there's a lot more detail that has been implemented into the image. You can also utilize dehaze in this instance. So if I just zoom in even further, and I'll just do a quick before and after so you can see again the difference there. So that's the before, and then that's the after of what we've just applied. You can see it's more of a lighting adjustment almost. But the dehaze will sort of help give a little bit more contrast overall. You can utilize this depending on your image. So if we just go back to the 25% view, we'll start to move the dehaze over, and you can see it just kind of adds a bit more contrast, a little bit of an enhancement to the image. But in this case, I don't think I really need it for this particular image. And we're gonna actually move straight onto sharpening now. So these two sliders are really imperative to get back that base before you go and add sharpening, because adding sharpening alone is really not going to give you this effect. So let's just scroll down again and let's zoom in again to the eye. And we're going to bring up the sharpening amount this time. So you'll see that there is a little bit of grain in the image and it is sharpening that grain. And there is a way that we can remove some of that. But for now, I'm just going to bring up the sharpening quite a lot. And I'm going to also bring up the radius. So the radius again is going to give you a little bit more detail on the edges and a little bit more contrast to work with. So I'm actually going to bring that up quite high. I'm going to zoom out as well. So just so we can see where the radius is. We don't want the sharpening to be too much, but we do want there to be that little bit more enhancement again around the eyes. And I've often said this before as a retoucher and as someone who has done quite a bit of skin retouching before, I prefer a little bit more texture to work with when I'm especially retouching beauty photographs rather than not enough. So I do kind of push these a little bit further if I do have a blurry image, just so I do have things to work with on the skin like pores and those natural textures that you really do see in an image. So you can also move the detail up, and I'll zoom in again to the eye quickly here. So the detail just will really sharpen up those extra edges. So we'll just sharpen it a little bit, but to remove some of this noise and grain that you are seeing, you can remove it if it does annoy you. I don't always remove it because I do like a bit of grain in my images, but just even going to the manual noise reduction, you can move the luminance up a little bit if you feel that there's just a little bit too much grain. But for this particular image, I'm going to leave that at 0 because I do like having a little bit of grain in there. And that is virtually how I would add back that texture and that structure to an image with Lightroom. Now, if I go back to the before, you'll see that there's a really big difference in how soft the image appears. Again, like I said, this before is actually before a little bit of color correction, but you can definitely see there's a really big difference there in the texture that you've got to work with. Now, I would use this texture and kind of run with that and put that into Photoshop to do my skin retouching and really just kind of finish it off a little bit more. Using a bit of dodge and burn as well will sort of soften those edges that might seem a little bit too embossed, especially in this particular area where it was a little bit sharper. But as I said, if you wanted to mask this on instead, you can always do that too. So let's zoom in again, and I'm just going to do a quick before and after. So before, after, before, after. So it's never going to be perfect, especially if you do have a slightly out of focus image, but this is really for those images where they could be a really great photo still, but they're just out of focus or they just have a bit of motion blur that you really want to try and correct as much as possible. It's really a process for those certain images that you think you could get away with it in terms of bringing back that little bit more texture. So again, just another before and after, before, and then after, and another kind of close in, before, after, before, after. So it's really good to pay attention to the skin in particular here because that's where I really wanted to bring back some of that detail as well as the eyes, but really making sure we've got that texture in the skin so it's going to look as sharp as possible by the time you're finished retouching as well in Photoshop. And that's what I really like to do. I like to use a combination of those sliders to really help bring back the detail that we need. So now that we're finished with Lightroom, I'm going to take you into Capture One and we're going to do a similar process over there, but there will be a couple of sliders that will be slightly different. Okay, so here we have our image in here, and if you think that it looks a little bit different color-wise, you would be correct because Capture One has different color profiles and color processing to Lightroom. So the images are gonna look slightly different. Personally, I think they look a little bit better in Capture One, and I've always kind of thought that with the color processing options that Capture One does have. It's a little bit more specific to your camera and lens style, and I just prefer how they import into this program. But overall, the clarity and sharpening tools are very similar in both programs. And for this particular image, I'm going to go straight down to the clarity tab that we have here on the left-hand side. Now you'll see that there's two sliders here called clarity and structure, and there's also the dehaze tab here. So this is very similar, as I mentioned, to Lightroom. You've got clarity, which is a very similar slider to the one in Lightroom, and you've got dehaze, also very similar. The one that's a little bit different is the one called structure here. Now, if you remember, the one in Lightroom was called texture, and so there's a little bit of difference there in how it brings back the detail. It's more texture focused in Lightroom, as the title suggests, and with structure here, we're focusing more on enhancing the elements. So it's a little bit more in tune with clarity. So I'm going to zoom in on the eye again. And again, we're going to move up the clarity slider first. You really just have to do this at your discretion. You can zoom out and see if that's too much, but I think we need quite a bit for this one. So maybe at about 30. And then this time I'm going to move the structure up. Now you'll see that it does a really good job of bringing back certain elements. Where we were back here, that's really quite blurry and out of focus. Moving this up is really enhancing it. So obviously we don't want to leave it at 100 though, because that is going to enhance the entire image, and in spots it's going to be a little bit too much. So we might just bring that down a little bit and zoom out again, because we also have the sharpening options available to us, which will help give it a nice finishing touch. But I think we can kind of push it with this one. I mean, really, let's compare just quickly to Lightroom. This is quite sharp now, but we don't want to push it too far, even in Capture One. So again, you've got the dehaze, which will give you that little bit more contrast. In this particular case, I'm not going to use the dehaze. And then we can go up to our sharpening options. So just up here under details, we can go up to the top here, which is the sharpening tab. So zooming in again, I'm going to move the sharpening amount up, and we're also going to move the radius up. So obviously that is really, really sharpening things up there on the image, probably a little bit too much in certain spots. So we're going to have to adjust that, but you can see even the texture of the skin has really come back. So I'm just going to move the sharpening amount down a little bit. And you'll see that as I move that down, we still have the radius that's kind of kicking in, but just getting rid of that overly sharpened effect on some parts there. I usually don't adjust the threshold too much because it kind of undoes the work that we've already done. So I tend to not focus on that too much. And then you can also use the halo suppressant if you're finding that there's a bit of a halo that's happening with some of the sharpening. So we don't really have too much going on there, but I'll just up that a little bit. Again, if you've got a lot of grain in the image, you can remove down the detail in the noise reduction section. But I find that sometimes in doing this, it does remove the detail of the sharpening we've just added. So in this case, for this particular photo, it's not bothering me that much. And especially from a distance, it's not really something that can be seen very well at all. So I'm just going to leave it as that. Now let's look at a quick before and after in Capture One. So this was the before, and then this is the after. So let's zoom in a little bit and you'll see a little bit more of the sharpening details here. This was the before and this is the after. So there's quite a considerable difference there. Now I'm going to do a bit of a zoom in here on both eyes for the Lightroom and Capture One programs, and you can see how they compare in how we've sharpened them. So moving back to Lightroom now, I'm going to zoom in. And you can see here, this is how the eye looks in Lightroom. This is how the eye looks in Capture One. So you can see they're quite similar, although I do feel in some ways that using the structure in Capture One really aids in helping those details stand out a little bit more, especially along edges and things where there's a little bit of motion blur. And if we go over to this eye, you might be able to see that a little bit more. Looking at this eye in Capture One versus this eye in Lightroom. So Capture One and then Lightroom. You can see there's still quite a considerable amount of motion blur there. So even zooming out and comparing the two, this is the sharpened version in Lightroom. And then this is the sharpened version in Capture One. Now, I personally feel that there's a bit more of a natural kind of vibe going on with the details that have been brought out in the Capture One image, but that as well can be slightly confusing due to the tones that I feel are better, but that's more of an automated thing anyway with Capture One. It's just the process and the color process that happens. So compared to Lightroom though, I do feel that the details don't pop as nicely. They do have that little bit more of an embossed effect, and I feel that we didn't go too far with sharpening on either one as well. So I'll let you guys be the judge of this, but personally I do love using Capture One for this. I do feel it's a program that's a little bit more detail oriented in that way, and I really like how it looks overall with the sharpening. So let's do another quick before and after here. So this is the before and this is the after. So we've really brought back enough detail now to take this into Photoshop and continue on with some editing. And you can probably even enhance further in Photoshop with some other techniques to really help just finalize those details a bit more. But overall, I hope you really enjoyed this tutorial and I hope you learned something new from it. Thank you guys so much for watching this video today. If you liked it, please give it a thumbs up. And if you haven't subscribed to this channel already, make sure that you do, because I'll be posting a lot more content like this in future. Please let me know down in the comment section below how you like to regain that detail in your blurry images or your slightly blurry images. I'd love to know any little tips or hacks that you guys have as well. But thank you so much for watching this video and I'll see you in the next one.